Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good evening to all of you. I hope all of you can hear me loud and clear. I will share my screen and the questions window in just a second. Thank you, Tehmina. I got your message. Okay, great, great. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Maria. All right, let's make a soft beginning. We have about 37 individuals. Thank you, Nabil. We have about 37 individuals. Sajid has joined us already. He's sitting in the back today. What we're going to do today is let's very quickly reflect on the discussions that we've done in the last session. Were you able to pick up some work with your business model canvas? And if yes, you can share the experience. So let's first of all look at who do we have in the attendees list. So what I'm looking for is hand raisers with people who can share their experience with the business model canvas, those who have started working on it. So please raise hands. Okay. Junaid Khalid. Junaid, you're going to go first. Thank you very much. I think the first drop of rain. Here we go. Junaid, you can unmute yourself and go on.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
सर मैंने अपना कुछ एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना है सर। मैंने अभी बिजनेस कैनवस मॉडल पे थोड़ा काम स्टार्ट किया है, लेकिन प्रॉपर नहीं कर सका क्योंकि बिकॉज आई एम बिजी विद माय मदर। तो सर मुझे एक चीज़ एज अ स्टूडेंट सर सजीद से डिस्कस करनी थी, जिसपे मैं थोड़ा सा लेके मेरा फियर है, एक तरह से ये भी मेरा फियर है, उन्हीं फियर्स में से जो कि आपको कोई भी चीज़ स्टार्ट करने से पहले होते हैं। तो सर मेरा उसमें ये है कि हमें इस बात पे तो मैं मतलब ये सिर्फ मेरा ओपिनियन है, आप डिफर कर सकते हैं बेशक। तो मेरा मतलब ये है कि सर असबाब के ऊपर जो है ना, हमने नहीं मेन गोल रखना होता, एज एज आई लर्न फ्रॉम सजीद। और लेकिन अल्लाह ताला हमें ये कहता है कि डू एवरीथिंग वाइजली। अच्छा फिर सर मेरे साथ जो एक्सपीरियंस हुआ पर्सनल मैं अपना बता रहा हूँ सर। मेरे साथ ये हुआ था कि मैंने कुछ बिजनेस जो है ना लाइफ, अभी मैं 36 का हूँ, तो ये है कि मैं 36 से जो चीजें नहीं कर सका ना, तो एक तो मेरा ये फियर होता है कि यार 36 तक कुछ नहीं किया तो अब आगे अब से क्या ऐसा करूं, कैसे अपने आप को मोल्ड करूं कि और चेंज कर सकूं। जैसे कि मेरा आज का जो पॉइंट है, दिस इज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट फॉर मी। और सर उसमें ये मेरे पास जो लाइव एग्जांपल है कि फंड्स और इसकी क्या जरूरत पेश आती है। लाइक एक मैं जब दुबई में था तो मैं आई थिंक कि भाई मैं एक बिजनेस करूंगा जो कि मिल्क शेक का बिजनेस होगा। और मैं छोटा, वैसे तो मिल्क शेक का बिजनेस तो आम होता है, कोई भी कर सकता है, दुकान तो कोई भी लगा सकता है। लेकिन सर मेरा ये प्लान था कि मैं एक पूरा सेटअप ऐसा ब्रांड लॉन्च करूंगा कि जो बिल्कुल आपको वीडियो पे दिखा रहा होगा कि ये आपका जो बड़ा हेल्दी जो है ना इन्वायरमेंट में, और हेल्दी टीम जो है ना आपके लिए एक मिल्क शेक तैयार करी जो कि आपके हेल्दी जूसेस में आ रहे हैं, फ्रेश जूस आ रहे हैं। ठीक है। तो अब मेरा ये बिजनेस मैंने अपना सोचा अपने माइंड के अंदर, हुआ क्या एग्जैक्टली आफ्टर 2 ईयर मैं क्या देखता हूँ कि वहां पे एक ब्रांड है जिसने एक छोटा सा शॉप नहीं खोला, छोटा शॉप बहुत है मिल्क शेक की। they put the lot of money from the investment from whatever, because for me I am unable to find कि भाई कहाँ से इन्वेस्टमेंट लेके आऊँ, बिकॉज मेरे पास उस वक्त फंड्स नहीं थे। तो कहने का मतलब ये कि उन्होंने ब्रांड लॉन्च किया एंड दे स्टार्टेड इन डेरा एंड started in Ibn Battuta Mall, and there is some other places as well. So they launch a brand with a total investment and once a time, मतलब एक ही टाइम में उन्होंने हर जगह ब्रांड लॉन्च किया ताकि दे अट्रैक्ट द पीपल। सही है। तो मेरा कहने का मतलब
if I've
जी सर
understood your question correctly, number one was you're talking
सर
about
दो
two limited.
मिनट जी सर
Sorry,
सर
go
दो
on
मिनट
first.
मुझे सर आवाज नहीं आई सॉरी मैं आप बताएं
Can you hear me now?
यस सर प्लीज सर
All right. So you've mentioned two limitations that you are
सर मैं
facing right
थोड़ा
now.
सा ऐड कर 2 मिनट 1 मिनट मुझे दे दें बस मैं वाइंड अप कर रहा हूँ सर
जी
वो
जी
ये है कि ये business मैंने अपने सामने देखा जो कि मेरा एक आइडिया था मैंने अपने भाइयों से शेयर भी किया कि ये बिल्कुल मेरा आइडिया है था लेकिन मैं इसलिए नहीं ये कर सका क्योंकि बिकॉज आई डोंट हैव फंड्स अच्छा और वो माशाल्लाह वो बिजनेस चल भी रहा था अभी मुझे नहीं पता कोविड में क्या सिचुएशन है लेकिन वो बहुत अच्छा चल रहा था और अल्लाह करे माशाल्लाह अल्लाह करे उनका और चले अच्छा एक तो ये था और फिर एक और था कि एक कॉर्नर स्पेस थी यूनियन मेट्रो स्टेशन की बिल्कुल कॉर्नर पे मैंने अपने भाई को बोला कि यार ये जो स्पेस है ना यहाँ पे मैं मतलब ग्लासेस की शॉप बनाऊंगा और दूसरी दो चीजें बनाऊंगा और वो चलेंगी बट अगेन इज द थिंग कि मेरे पास फंड्स की कमी थी बट मैंने देखा अपनी जिंदगी के अंदर ही वहां पे वही चीजें हुई एंड वो वेरी वेरी वेल चल रही थी अच्छा ये हो गया अब मेरा सिर्फ सर ये है कि तवक्कल भी अल्लाह ताला पे करना है ना तो अल्लाह ताला ने कहा है कि रस्सी को ऊंट को रस्सी से बांधो तो द थिंग इज कि तवक्कल अल्लाह पे हमने करना है बट द थिंग कि आपने ऊंट को रस्सी से भी बांधना है तो अगर कहीं पे रस्सी नहीं है तो अल्लाह ही तवक्कल है और अल्लाह ही रस्सी है थिंग तो स्टोरी सर आपको बाकी मेरी मैंने आपसे और सर से शेयर की हुई है सारी स्टोरी वो मैं शेयर नहीं करना चाहता कि क्या क्या इसका बैकग्राउंड भी आपको पता है टोटल बैकग्राउंड पता है कि मैं कहाँ से कहाँ कब एसीसी में एंटर हुआ क्या हुआ मेरे साथ और क्या चीजें ये चल रही हैं तो अब मेरा फियर ये है कि मैं इस स्टेज पे आके मैं क्या ऐसा कर सकता हूँ कि मेरे पास अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह भी फंड्स भी हैं और लेकिन मैं बिजनेस में इन भी करना चाहता हूँ लेकिन मेरा ये फियर नहीं जाता कि
Hmm.
आप सब सर बस मैंने कंक्लूड कर दिया अब मुझे सिर्फ इसका आंसर चाहिए आप लोगों के बहुत
Yeah.
बेहतरीन मेंटोर हैं सर मेरे तो मुझे इसका आंसर प्लीज सर चाहिए ताकि मैं मेरी ये कंफ्यूजन दूर हो सर थैंक यू सो मच सर
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Um, Junaid, after a very patient hearing, what I've concluded is two things from your question, and the same two things that I picked up earlier in the discussion as well. The first one is, should age be a limiting factor in your thinking around businesses or setting up a business? Psychologically speaking, yes, age has limitations. I mean, with every passing day, your appetite for risk in normal cases is decreasing, and your risk avoidance, the nature of risk avoidance is increasing. So that happens. But at the same time there are many stories. For example, KFC. You would have heard about how many businesses uh, did the owner of KFC fail before clicking this one. Um, you would have also have in mind. Um, uh, I'm I think the when you're talking about funds, you would also have in mind the owner of Microsoft and Steve Jobs. Where did they begin? Did they have the resources to compete with giants already there in the marketplace? Yeah. So I think if you look at if you look at the external factors, there may always be unsupportive. There may always be there may start a business. But the point is that your determination and your planning can defeat these limitations that are coming about. Doing an for what happened. I saw on his resume that he had been doing one job after the other after the other. The guy had about 8 years of experience, and right in the middle of that 8 year experience, he had mentioned the name of a cafe, and under that he had written business owner. So he was a business owner of a cafe that he had started. I think he mentioned back in 2018. So in 2018, early in the year, he started a cafeteria. And the guy had done excellent research about what kind of business, what kind of food products, what market to serve, etc., etc. And he was a brand guy, a marketing individual, so had the right skills to market the business as well. Uh, According to him, for the first entire year, he was able to meet all the expenses. So he was not able to make a huge return on investment, but at least his cost of business, he was able to recover that from his sales. Start of 2019 and throughout 2019, he says he was able to achieve a turnaround of or a revenue, a monthly revenue of about 200,000 rupees a month, which, according to him, was enough to meet all the expenses, to pay all the salaries, plus make a saving for future business growth and for himself. Comes COVID, and he straight away went out of business. He tried to manage it for 3 or 4 months, but because of cash crisis and again the difficulty that I had to run my kitchen, etc., etc., he had to close that business down. So I pose a question to all of you. Imagine you have started such a business. Yeah. Imagine that you have been able to pass that 2 year grinding period, which 90% of the businesses fail in these first 2 years. You've been through that period. And now, when it's about reaping benefits, profits, all of a sudden, because of a pandemic, you had to close your business down. What do you think, had you been in that place, you with your accounting and finance knowledge, had you been in the place, would you have done differently? How could you have saved that business from sinking, having gone through the early initial difficult period? Any idea? Raise hands, please. In the meanwhile, I'll read some comments that have been made by the participants. Okay, Muhammad Ghayas is saying that Phil Light established Nike when Puma and Adidas were market leaders. Exactly, very good example. And look at the market share right now. I think it should be a success story. Um, Risk avoidance does increase with age, and determination can certainly overcome these behaviors. Yes, Amina, and I can remember your comment that you made in the 6 digits program when we were talking about rent-seeking attitude. Yeah, so that attitude very quickly settles in. You have to be brave to break away from that attitude and um, try to swim with the sharks and try to continue to sustain your business. um, Phil Knight, yes, all right, not light. Okay, thank you, Ayas. um, Junaid has said, but I'm not an exception like them. Were they an exception, Junaid? That may be my question. Were they an exception
जी
at
सर,
that
मैं
time?
बिल्कुल आपने
they,
बिल्कुल सही सर।
they also.
सर मैं सर एक तो क्वेश्चन बॉक्स अगर थोड़ा बड़ा कर देंगे ना, मैम तमीना ने जो दिए हैं मतलब पॉइंट्स वो मुझे नजर नहीं आ रहे, तो थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू। और दूसरा सर, मैं बिल्कुल, मुझे ये चीज़ें सारी पता है कि ये ब्रांड्स हैं ऊबर और फेसबुक, ये एग्जांपल है, बिल्कुल सही है सर, राइट। लेकिन सर मेरा यहाँ पे ये है कि अगर आप एक्सेप्शन ना, पर ये भी गलती थी कि ऑन द सेम टाइम आई एम थिंकिंग सो बिग कि वो मैं कर ही नहीं पाता, मतलब इस अगर मैं वो चीज़ कर ही नहीं सक रहा था तो मैं इतना बिग क्यों थिंक कर रहा था। लेकिन इफ आई डोंट हैव फंड्स फॉर दैट, लेकिन मैंने सोचा ऐसा कि यार ये बहुत अट्रैक्टिव बिजनेस है, बट आई डोंट हैव फंड्स, तो आई एम नॉट विलिंग टू, इसका मतलब मेरी गलती है कि आई एम नॉट विलिंग टू गो फॉर अ शॉर्ट वन, कि भाई मैं स्मॉल से स्टार्ट ही नहीं लेना चाह रहा था, मतलब आई एम नॉट विलिंग कि भाई मैं स्मॉल से
Yeah.
स्टेप स्टेप वाइज जा रहा था। और फिर सर एक्सेप्शंस आर देयर, बट अगर मैं एक्सेप्शन नहीं हूँ, बिल्कुल ठीक है, एक्सेप्शंस आर देयर इन अ वर्ल्ड, बट अगर मैं एक्सेप्शन नहीं हूँ तो मैं क्या करूँ सर, मतलब अगर मैं एक्सेप्शन भी नहीं हूँ लेकिन मैं आगे जाना चाह रहा हूँ तो देन
Mhm.
मैं क्या करूँ। थैंक यू सर।
Look,
Assalamu
Junaid, it's very simple, and you've given the answer yourself. It's very simple. You have to. I mean, the business idea has to be small. I mean, you would have seen a number of pictures on WhatsApp, on Facebook. The two people who are trying to climb a wall, they have two ladders. One ladder has very big distant steps, and the person who's trying to climb that ladder is finding it very difficult. Yeah, and this other person is also trying to climb the same ladder, scaling the same wall, but has very small steps, right? And that person is able to very quickly, get onto the top of the ladder. So, simply speaking, right, good ideas are the backbone, right? Those ideas may be very small initially, right, but they should have the potential to grow big, right? So I think you yourself answered that question. So all good ideas, I think, a majority of them would start small.
सर
Not
इसमें मैं
every business and every
और ऐड करूंगा
and
सिर्फ लास्ट लाइन कि वो ये है सर, मैंने अपने एक्सपीरियंस से लर्न किया है, जो आप लोगों से भी मैंने सीखा है, उसमें मुझे काफी हेल्प हुई है। 6 डिजिट में भी मैं था, और सर सजीद से और आप लोगों से सर मेंटोरशिप इतनी जबरदस्त है ना कि मुझे पता चला कि हमारी वीकनेसेस क्या है, और माइंडसेट पे हमने काम नहीं किया हुआ। मुझे, मैं अपनी बात कर रहा हूँ सर। सर मैंने ये चीज
Mhm.
अक्स किया है कि एक तो आपने इंट्रोवर्ट नहीं रहना, एक्सट्रोवर्ट बनना है। देन दूसरा मैंने ये किया है कि आपने जो माइंड, अपने माइंड को, कॉन्फिडेंस इज देयर, कॉन्फिडेंस इज समथिंग, बट द विलिंग टू डू इज मोर देन द कॉन्फिडेंस। सर अगर आप किस चीज को करने की पावर है, इफ यू हैव विल पावर टू डू समथिंग, इज मोर देन द कॉन्फिडेंस इवन। थैंक यू सर।
Brilliant, Junaid. You yourself have answers to all the questions that you're posing as well. So you're spot on. It's just that you have to take the first jump, the plunge. So let's hear from Tehmina what she wants to say. Tehmina, I've unmuted you. You can jump in.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So regarding the case you presented, Harun, I would like to give it's not a new methodology, but I'm an advocate of lean startup. So I would say
Mhm.
that the problems could have been, solved if they had gone towards the lean startup. Well, lean startup is actually a methodology for developing business and testing your business model. It gives you a
Mhm.
chance to test whether your business model is viable. So it can be said that it's basically a testing of business hypothesis by experimenting all that you want to do with your original business. This gives you some time span to emphasize on the customer feedback and to analyze the flexibility of the planning and all those issues that you are going to face in the future if you had gone with a full investment in the business. So why go for a full investment in the business with the risk to face, the business can have some ups and downs, or the business can have some bottlenecks or other such issues. So why not go towards a lean startup? So I guess the solution to the scenario that you gave could have been starting with a lean startup.
Mhm. Mhm. No,
Thank
definitely,
you.
and even under the circumstances that emerged out of nowhere, and a pandemic or a natural disaster is something that very few people have covered in their initial business idea. But there could have been many steps. So if he was facing a liquidity crisis or a working capital crunch, thinking about involving a business partner. Number two, um, I can tell there are many eat outs, which have made very good money because earlier on, when they were thinking about competition, they had huge restaurants that would be offering a big competition. But with COVID in place, their huge facilities actually became a burden on them, and therefore people who were lean, restaurants that were lean, and those that were able to deliver good food at the doorstep, etc., they made some good money. So I think, um, and when doing that interview, I could very easily, my mind went on to think that had an ACCA member been there, what could he have done? So I think better control over funds, or arranging better funds, or efficient funds, uh, rethinking or going back very quickly to the drawing board, rethinking the business idea and the business model, I think those are the things that you people are very well trained with, and that could have been a savior under the circumstances. So just a case that I wanted to refer. Let's see what Malik Shehbaz has to say, and then we'll go on to watch a very interesting video. Gee, Shehbaz, you're unmuted. You can go on. Shehbaz, your microphone is probably not working. We are unable to hear you, although I can see a green microphone. Let's. Can you try to fix your mic? And in the meanwhile, we can talk to Subhan Siddiqui. So, Shehbaz, please try to fix your mic, or otherwise rejoin. Yes, Subhan, you're unmuted. You can try. Oh, Subhan, I can't hear you that clearly. You'll have to try again as well. No, unfortunately, your voice is not very clear. Probably your internet connection. Both of you, if you can try fixing the problem, and then. No, Subhan, unfortunately, you will have to rejoin as well. No, we can't make out anything. We can't. Hamid, putting Subhan back on mute. Hamid, you can go on.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन, क्या हाल है अरुण साहब? अच्छा,
Perfect, thank you very much.
हम सक्सेस स्टोरीज तो यूरोप की और अमेरिका की हम बताते रहते हैं. इज देयर एनीवन फ्रॉम आवर रीजन पाकिस्तान कि जिसको हम कोट करें बजाय KFC, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, स्टीव एंड अदर? तो वी शुड एट लीस्ट, यानी अगर हमारी अपनी है तो उसको हम वो करें. उससे ये होगा कि हम क्योंकि रीजन से होंगे तो हम ज्यादा मोटिवेट होंगे इंस्टेड ऑफ वी लुकिंग टू दीस
very simply speaking, Junaid Jamshed की story जो है वो I think everybody knows that now. Talk
but
of the town.
we never quote that. We always quote Microsoft, Steve Jobs, KFC, and this and that.
Yeah.
They are far developed than us. So we should at least focus on our market, what any kind of strategies people adopted and they get success. So we can move on accordingly instead of जो चीजें हम नहीं यानी अभी कर सोच ही नहीं है हमारी बात है कि उस पे हम करते रहते हैं.
Hamid,
Sorry
I think,
if someone यानी don't like my
that's good criticism. But if I was to differentiate that situation, I would say that the owner of KFC, or at that time, let's say Steve Jobs, or the owner of Microsoft, if you'd ask me, were they a brand themselves at the time of the launch of the business? But if I look at Junaid Jamshed, sorry, somebody closed my webinar, my camera. But if you look at Junaid Jamshed, he had one advantage to himself. He was already an established brand in himself. He had the public eye. He was in the public eye, right? So for his line of business to click or to work, there was a higher probability, right? As opposed to someone unknown, completely unknown, who has to come in. He has to do a lot of effort to catch that public eye. So if I was to make an example or quote an example from Pakistan, I would right away not look at J. I would look at another business. I would look at, has any one of you eaten Vakas Biryani? Or I would want to look at Saver Pulao as an option. Where did they start? Where are they now? I would want to look at the food business in Karachi versus the food business in Lahore, right? Why did this very popular brand in Karachi, which was student biryani, failed in Lahore altogether, right? So I would be more interested in looking at other examples which have started from scratch. I think J. was a relevant example because it started from scratch financially, But if you'd ask me brand wise, he had an excellent leverage. He did not start from scratch. Okay, so yeah, Tehmina had given a few examples. Jahan, yes. How many of you know Jahan? I think very popular person now in the IT sector. Nest IQ. Yeah. Zulfishan, thank you. We got your message. Bar Gallery. Rayas, would you want to share with us what this business is about? MTJ, yes. Gee, Hamza, Tehmina has already mentioned the Nest IQ. True. Okay, so I think, yes, Rayas wants to say something. Let's hear from him. But interesting conversation. We have to slowly take this conversation back to the business canvas. Okay, so we wanted to hear more, some more feedback about business canvas. So, but let's first hear from Rayas about this. Yes, Rayas, go on. You're unmuted.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Yes, Rayas, we can hear you.
Bag Gallery is basically a brand which started in 2017 by students of CBM. She
Okay.
made a Facebook page in which she sold cosmetics, and within 3 years' time, this has become a $900 an year company. I have seen his jobs on LinkedIn. They are being hiring like senior manager finances. But the basic the background is that it was just a Facebook page, and it has now become a biggest e-commerce market of Pakistan. This is what Bag Gallery is. So we are talking about a local brand. So this is one example.
No, very rightly said. I think that's a good example, and I'm sure there are many others. Somebody just Muhammad Ali mentioned cotton and cotton. Yes. At the same time, I know quite a few who, because of their
The
introvert
same is with
nature, were not able to.
pro Pakistani is one.
Yeah.
It was it is a WordPress website. Basically, sir, the issue is we are not well equipped with how technological advances are being made around us. For example, the e-commerce market is very much growing. If someone wants to do business, he should learn how to make an e-commerce website, drop shipping website, how to do business on Amazon from Pakistan. Then how to make a WordPress website. We're making website on WordPress is very much easy. It's just like making a page on a Facebook. We all have our Facebook, we all have LinkedIn, but we don't know how to make a website on WordPress. So all we need to do is to see what is going around us, and how can we indulge ourselves in it. We can make a blog, for example, on ACCA, on taxation, on whatever our core competencies are. We can make a blog on it, and within 6 months, if, for example, if your website goes 6 months, you can sign up for Google AdSense. Through Google AdSense, you will going to make money through ads. You see, when you open a website, for example, Yahoo, there are big blocks of advertisement coming up on site. This is through Google AdSense or other, or we can sell our websites as well on Flippo.
No, I totally agree with you. So one has to be in the game all along, straight from the word go, in order to be.
For example, sir, I want to share my own experience. I have a 10 years of working experience in different industries of Pakistan. And last year, due to COVID, I got discontinued from my job. But I was happy because I got discontinued from my job because I have my other plans. I was not getting a pay raise. I was applying in different industry, but I was not getting the answers. So I asked myself, as being an ACCA member, having a post qualification experience of 2 years or 3 years, this is how I'm going to do, how I'm going to do. Then I started searching around, I started reading books. Then I came to know about digital marketing, social media marketing. Then I started doing courses. Then I came to know about bookkeeping and freelancer marketplacing. So for a period of 9 months, I studied freelancing, how to attract client, how to make communication. And in last year, in September 2020, I started my own freelancing and I work from my home. I'm sitting in my workplace, in my bedroom. I work from here. I get clients. I am making money, but this is what will you call I'm covering my expenses. But I'm foreseeing a good growth in coming like 7 months, 8 months ahead. In order to survive in this marketplace, what I need to do is to do certifications, which I can do from Udemy. I can get a free certification from Intuit QuickBooks. It is a software which is used worldwide. I can sign up for Zero Central. I can get certification in Zero and offer my service in this
Yeah.
platform. So this is what
So,
I'm.
Rayas, taking over from you, I think as long as you have charted out your plan, your step-by-step plan, and it is not that you
Yes, this
have
is
lost,
what
you
what
don't have a
I
view of what
sir
will
what I
success look like for you. Sorry, just give me a minute. Uh, as long as you have that your vision locked on the ultimate destination, right, you will slowly get there. Okay. Somebody mentioned park wheels, and if you remember, OLX, which is an international name, it's an international marketplace. When they wanted to step into the car business, they had a very difficult time. They had to pump in a huge amount of money in TV advertisements, etc. But still they were not able to make a single dent on the brand value that Park Wheels had established. And if you look at this individual, if you look at this organization now, it is continuously improving. Now, with cars coming in, people look for reviews from this guy Sunil Manj, who would test drive cars and give opinions. If you think of just a marketplace which would bring buyers and sellers together for cars, um, imagine a few years ago he had not thought about offering certified cars as a business, or doing a health check of cars as a business model. So he's all along he's been able to add value to the entire business model, or add further
exactly
domain
sir.
as part of his own main business model, which is continuously keeping him in the lead. So if you look at any other such similar business portal, you would not see that much innovation of ideas, that much exploring of new possibilities happening anywhere else. So those are good examples. As long as Gayas, you're continuously doing that with your current business model, even if it is back office or a BPO business right now, even with that, if you're able to add more value, or set milestones and achieve them, you will definitely be able to get to the point where you want to go
Sir,
with
I
all
want
this.
to tell one more thing that what I found in myself is my communication skills. And I was just so passionate in serving my clients that my clients are repeated myself. If I get a one business, it is very highly likely that the same guy came to me again and offer and ask my service for again. This is what I found in myself, and I was very much amazed. And I have got reviews of above and beyond services in this freelance marketplaces. So
Great.
inshallah, I am hopeful. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Alina, you mentioned the name Bushra Azhar. Bushra was one of my colleagues, some years back, and an excellent example. So let's very quickly now watch this video, which is about why you will fail to have a great career. Listen to this video with interest, and then we'll pick up a talk about this. Okay, so here we go. Gayas, I'm putting you back on mute. So if you're still waiting for the video to come up. Great, thank you very much. We are going to discuss this very interesting video. Junaid, I'm sure you would have picked up the answers to your questions in this video as well. So what we're going to do is it's 5 minutes to 4 minutes to 7 right now. We take a 10 minutes namaz break. और आज हमने कराची का time follow किया है. I'm sure it's namaz time in Karachi. So we'll take a 10 minutes namaz break, and at 6 minutes past 7 we will be back and we'll commence. So 10 minutes namaz break, please. Okay, thank you very much. I hope most of you are back. All right, we'll discuss this video for about 10 minutes, and then we'll jump back to the next conversation. Larry Smith, I see some expressions, some opinions made by people. What do you think? Just having interest or having passion? What do you think about the message given? What was your takeaway? Are you people going to type? You're going to speak? I'm going to lower all hands and then see who wants to come up. Hamid has already raised his hand. Yes, Hamid, I see a comment from you in the chat box as well. Yes, Hamid, we can hear you now.
Yeah, most important thing, if and but must be expelled, excluded at all to move on. Other,
Okay.
as per me.
Ifs and buts. Yeah, that's the exactly. That's the.
These are the barrier, these are the obstacles which stop us
the
from.
excuses that normally people come up with.
Yes.
True.
You can
Those
explain
are the
further
excuses
it
that
very well.
Great. Yes. Anybody else? Any message from the video that you would have picked up? Hamid picked up excuses. Excuses for not doing something, for not having a great career. What else? I think the one message that was loud and out was interest and passion. What do you think about that? What is the indication that your interest has now become a passion? How would you differentiate between the two? Waqar Ali Shah, you're unmuted. Yes, Waqar, you can click the unmute button and speak. You're self-muted now.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
The thing the basic thing which I got from this video was what he was saying is that passion is beyond interests. There may be we may have a lot of interest, but the passion is something which is beyond interest. Okay. That's the main thing which I got from this.
That goes, yeah, exactly. That goes on top of just having an interest in something. Yeah. So your
yes, that's right.
Has to be something that doesn't let you sleep overnight. Yes. Would that be passion?
That is right. Yeah, that is right. That's correct. Okay. Thank you very much.
Great. Okay. All right. So if we can link this up to the conversation that we were having previously. So what Junaid came up with, about his business situation, or what we were discussing, that story of the individual who had to shut down his business that had already probably picked up, and because of COVID had to close it down. What do you think in light of this video? Yeah, anybody? Please raise hands. Okay, we're getting comments from Tahmina. Very strong messages. Okay. We perceive ourselves to be victims of circumstances. Okay. Self-pitying. And this mindset doesn't allow us to do anything. Yeah, I agree. This is what this is what Larry also pointed out. Self-pitying. Or blaming external factors. The time was not right. I was not lucky enough. I didn't have a reference. I didn't know that the life in business is such difficult, or I didn't know So nobody told me how a good career will be like. I did not attend any trainings. I'm not trained for this. Excuses, self-pitying. Yeah, I quite like that statement made by what's his name? By this individual who said, I'm going to rely on, sorry, yes, Mohammed Ghayas. He said, I'm going to rely on trainings from, from Udemy uh, and and other such portals. I'm going to rely on them to continue to build my business. Yeah. So I think that's a good attitude. Why do you have to uh, why do you have to why do you want somebody else to lead you to a place? Why would you want somebody to hold your hand and take you to, let's say, to a place where you can drink water? Yeah, you have to have that passion inside. You have to have that desire inside. Okay. um Alina has said, I'm not crazy enough to jump into it, or I'm not crazy enough. Okay. Alina, would you want to spell it out? Would you want to say what you're trying to write? I'm going to unmute you. Maybe explain that a bit.
Assalamualaikum everyone. I was trying to mention one of the messages that he gave during the video, that one of the excuses that we normally give is that people like Steve Jobs, they were crazy enough to jump into something new and take that bigger risk. So if you're not crazy enough, if you are by normal standards normal, then you're not good enough for a business. Thank you.
True. So being crazy about something reflects your passion. Unless you have that within you, right? Probably it's not the right time or not the right thing to do. Yeah, and that's exactly one of the reasons why people fail to make a career. Okay, I think good discussion, good video. I have watched this video after about 6 months, and every time you watch it, you'll find new messages in it. So I think a good idea to keep watching it after some intervals, and it keeps guiding you for with more passion, how to develop, develop to being passionate and continue to grow yourself in your business. Okay, so next up, we started discussing the business canvas. Has any one of you been able to plot it, or at least plot the sketch, or would you want to share that here in the group? Let's pick up one business idea and let's discuss it here. Is that okay? Okay, so I'm looking at hand raises once again of someone who's brave enough to open up the business canvas that they have plotted and want to share it here. Or if not, at least come up with the business idea that you've been thinking about, that you wanted to plot on that business canvas and discuss it. Okay. Yes, Omar Jamil. Okay, noted your message. Nobody? Business ideas, people looking for hand raises, people who would want to. I mean, it's a good opportunity with about 75 people sitting and watching. You could get some excellent feedback about your business ideas also. We tried that with yes, we tried that in the previous session as well, and you could immediately pick up how many people would be interested in joining your business idea if that's the case. Sajid, would you want to say something about this?
Just a question. I think अभी शुरू में जुनैद ने भी बात की, and there is a very common theme around resources. So my only question is, if you have to travel from a place A to B, how many mode of transport you may have, how you can move from a place A to B, intercity, intercountry, from a one place to other place. Okay, if you can start putting the modes of transport which you can think about. Okay, by air, how? Car, land, sea, air. Plane, foot. Keep coming. Bicycle, bike, metro, car, train, ship, air. Walk. Keep coming. Helicopter. Now we have started thinking. Bus. You can take intercity, take a distance virtually. Great. Now we are thinking. Cream. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, let me put further question to it. If you have to go somewhere by air, think about how many means you have, how you can do that. You have to move from Lahore to Karachi or Karachi to Lahore by air. What are the options? Plane, helicopter, which plane? How many options you have if you look at the plane side? So multiple airline, chartered passenger. Okay, now we are thinking. Personal plane, cargo plane, fighters, helicopters. How about hot air balloon? And what else? What else? Teleporting. Okay. What else? Yeah, own vehicle. We are going by air, so it's you, the plane you own. Drone, air taxi, SpaceX. Okay, keep coming, keep coming. What else? Rocket, definitely. Go to webinar. Hyperloop, maybe if you create one. Yes. What else? Aladdin's carpet, definitely. What else? Dreams, spiritual travel, great. So what else? Glider, UFO, now people start thinking again, great. So what else? Flying myself, yeah. Paragliding, great, keep coming. Superman. But now there are devices which can help you to do that. I think Thailand mein to they provide that as a one of a experience as a sports, as a part of the water sports. What else? Red Bull, so you can have wings. Imagination. So now let me put a question. If you need to raise money for a business for which you have an idea and team, yeah, self-flying is one. You can go to moon and you can drop yourself there. You just have to make sure that you land in Karachi or Lahore to the destination. So now take that question to raising money. Now you need money for the business. How are you going to do that? Crowdfunding, self-saving, parent, relative, friends, partner, bank loan, personal saving, bank loan. What else? Investors, selling asset, venture capital, IPO, business angels, government grant, partnerships, OPM model, other people money model, sleeping partners, network capital like in Singapore, great. Business grants. And if you can think about so many different area to raise capital or create those resources, then why it's a one of a constraint or a generally at least refer as a one of a constraint, the funding. If there are so many means to raise capital or get that money, why it's considered as a constraint? Why people take it as a limitation? Not constraint, it's an excuse. Great. Failed business model. Okay.
I think the video also talked about the fear of failure or
Yep.
fears generally.
Yep. Fear of loss. Exactly. I think Ahmed Umar Jamil came up with that. It's a lack of resourcefulness. It's not a lack of resources. So I think when we are looking at the constraints, that's bring out 2 or 3 things, whether we are not very much aware of that what's happening around us, we are not willing to take risk, or we feel that if we lose what we have, it's very difficult to survive. That's one of a journal statement which I oftenly hear, that if I lose everything, where my kids are going to study, how I'm going to provide food for them. We always feel and try to play God in some time, and that's where our role as a God for that food and education, that's become a challenging for us to really let go that role and rely on somebody else or something else, that there are ways and there are people who may not have the similar resources, they are still getting food and these kids are still getting education. Then we have got a social pressure, the standards, the peer pressures, everything comes into account. We take everything into account, that लोग क्या कहेंगे, फिर क्या होगा अगर मेरे बच्चे ऐसे स्कूल में चले गए, या if we are not able to do the same level of hoteling, and we can't plan a vacation in summers and can't post the pictures on the social media, how it's going to look like on my social status. So there are a lot of things, a lot of area when we go and try to dive deep. It's not about the fear that I can't do it. It's always come out to something else which is driving that fear, and that's stopping us. It's, again, I always say is that it's okay to be scared, that's fine, but your fear should not stop you from progressing. That fear should drive you to win. You should have a fear that you have got competitors, you want to be a winner in the game, good or bad. We can have different debate around it, but your fear should drive you to win. It should not be like, we use a one example and I use it a lot. I'm sure most of the people have heard it before as well. If you get in a football ground with the mindset not to lose, you are bound to lose. But if you land in the ground with the mindset to win, there is a high probability you will win. So most of the time we play our game not to lose. Most of the time we are not playing our game to win. We are just playing a game not to lose. And those are the fears which drive this attitude. And most of the time we end up with we end up losing, in fact, because that's what we are trying to protect. That's the word which is at the forefront of our thought process. So that's ultimately वो जो बड़ा सिंपल सा है, जो आप गुमान करेंगे वो तो आपने पाना ही पाना है ना. So अगर आपका गुमान और आपका खौफ जो है वो is losing the game, you will lose the game. It's not somebody else has done anything. You have decided that you want to lose the game. So emotional resilience, if you can note down that word, emotional resilience, I would suggest do a certain research around it, emotional resilience. And also there's another word, SCARF model, SCARF, SCARF model. Look at the SCARF model as well. SCARF, the one we wear in around the neck, SCARF model. So look for these two words on Google. And Harun, if we can move on to the goal setting, because a lot of things which why we are unable to have a confidence to go and look around for investor and ask people to come and become a partner, or going to bank, or putting our family saving into the business, which we believe is the great idea. What exactly is stopping us from doing that? So let's look at the secret why we have to set the goals right. So Harun, over to you for the video. Anything new you figured out in this video? Anything which you didn't know earlier? Anyone? Stick to your goal. Is it new thing? It's the same KPI. There's no new concept. There's OPA. There's a this is what and why. There was a what and how. There's always a what, why, and how, and most of the time why comes earlier. Start with why. So if you look at, go back and see what you have achieved in the last 2 weeks. Anybody who would like to share, not from this, we are not talking about 7 digit. Anybody give us a count what they have done in the last 2 weeks, how they have progressed towards whatever goal they have set in the last 2 weeks. And Zofisha, very rightly we say, we always listen to these videos, we share these videos, we appreciate those videos. For a moment, we like it as well, and that's also bring energy. But end of the day, unless until we start acting what or put it in the execution, those are all the great ideas which has no value unless until they are executed or delivered. So if I ask anybody who can raise their hand and share what was their goal and what they have done in the last 2 weeks to achieve that.
You're muted, Hamid.
Hamid, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Previously, I was trying to comment on a video. But,
no, it's the question is what you have done in last 2 weeks to achieve your goal. What was the goal and what you have done in the last 2 weeks?
Start progressing engagement with more people, as
okay,
and trying to come out from my comfort zone.
Networking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Engaging more people for
No,
business.
not more people. How many people you engaged in last 2 weeks? Be specific.
Almost 5 new people.
5 people. 5 new people. And how many old contacts?
They have come and go. That not. But important thing is that I engage with 5 new people.
5 new people. Okay.
That is a routine for old people. They come and that is the
Any
routine.
closure, any milestone which you have set yourself, or it's meeting 5 new people is the milestone?
No, that's not. As I earlier mentioned you that I'm trying to have at least 300 clients in the next 5 years as a goal. So it's progress towards that.
Okay.
And almost engage them with some good size of business relevant to my services, consulting services.
Great. So Hamid has made a progress in the last 2 weeks while he's working towards the 300 clients. So he has made a progress with 5 new contacts. And you want to have it in a 5 years, right, Hamid? The 300 clients.
Yeah, currently I have 150 plus, and I want to multiply it by 2 in next
So
5
you want
years.
to add 150 in a 5 year. Is it a good progress? If in a 2 weeks, Hamid has added 5 new contacts, where the target is 150 new businesses or client in a 5 years time, is it a good progress? Yes, no, guys, we are listening. Yes. Yes, it is a good progress. If these are when we look at the overall funnel, so definitely at the top of the funnel, you need a lot of people to come in before you can really filter it out and do the conversion. So for 150 people, we might be looking at 1,000 new contacts where the 150 will be converted into the client. So based on the 2 weeks, if we look at that, multiply by 26, so we are looking at 130 people almost per year, and in a 5 years time we are looking somewhere around 650 people. So there is a likelihood that out of those 650, 150 will become like a proper business, or it will convert into the sales. 3 out of 10, 30%. If you look at 610, so yeah, there is a likelihood that we may be able to achieve somewhere 150. So if we can do more, it's better, but that's how you look at the KPIs and progress. Anybody else who want to share? If you can raise your hand. Anybody else who has some goal and they have made some progress? Subhan Siddiqui. One. सुबहान आपका इंटरनेट कनेक्शन इज नॉट वेरी गुड, so आपकी आवाज बहुत ब्रेक हो रही है. नहीं, you might have to reconnect or you have to change your connection. Quite a distortion right now. So we move to Ahmed Umar Jamil. Ahmed Umar Jamil. Ahmed, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Gigi, please, Ahmed, we can.
Okay. My concept is it always had been that you can achieve anything in your life if you can help enough other people get what they want in their lives. So around 2-3 years back, it's not a recent goal because I have been under the weather. I have not been well of late. But around 5 years back, I had set a goal for myself that I wanted to jump into entrepreneurship, and I wanted to jump into, and I wanted to formulate and set up an institute where I'll help transform people, and where I'll help people through trainings and through learning, and you know, uh, uh, and I succeeded in doing that. So what I'm just trying to say is there is something massive about writing your goals down and then going on to achieve them. And I had set a goal, and then I'm citing the new goal is to have 1,000 registrations for that institute. That's the new goal. Currently, before COVID, we had around 200 registrations, but obviously the COVID has hit us pretty bad. And now the goal is in a year we should have 1,000 registrations. No matter how we are going to achieve that, it could be through opening up branches, or it could be through expanding and doing aggressive marketing, and it could be various other means. But that's the goal now. And because there is COVID going around, so I really cannot comment at the progress that we are making at the moment. But if we look at around a month back, we were doing pretty well in that aspect as well. We had 50 more registrations in a month. Yeah.
Thanks. So, Emmett, if you are looking at 1,000 in a year and you have 50 last month, that's mean you have to accelerate that. So in the next, if you keep doing 50 a month, you will not reach there, right?
Yeah, but the externals at the moment, they are not supportive at right now, but I am pretty sure
never
that
be supportive, yeah, but you have to figure out how, and that's what I can see even in your conversation. You use a term, no matter what happens, you are going to do that. So I think there's an attitude which is called, we will figure it out. And that's create a level of confidence at the same time. So you figure out the stuff on the way, on the run, and not necessarily you always have a plane to fly. Sometimes you just jump and you build a plane while you jump from a cliff, and you have to build a plane at the same time. So people have a different attitude towards risk. I'm a type of person who will jump from the cliff and build a plane on the way, rather than waiting for having a plane and then use the plane. So there are different people who have a different kind of risk appetite. But if you are looking at 1,000, you are clear. You know that it's a year's time, and then you have already made a certain progress of 50. You have a baseline of 200. So it's just creating accelerating that one. So it's nothing new. You just have to figure out how you're going to communicate with people and engage them in a different way, so they come and register with you, and you have to evaluate whether it's a face-to-face or online or blended, or how you will create the experience. So once people come, they stay, and you retain them, and they create a word of mouth, and that's where the exponential growths come in.
absolutely. And you gave a very beautiful metaphor. Sorry for interruption.
No, that's fine. It's a very famous example when people jump from the cliff and then they decide to build a plane at the same time. So, but that's required altogether different kind of risk appetite. External factors do affect business plans, but better BCP help definitely, Hamad and Anis. There's something called, have you ever heard the word think ahead? Anybody? Great.
That's ACCA.
Yeah, that's ACCA. You are supposed to. So BCP is basically practically think ahead. It does not eliminate the risk. It's but it's minimize it. So you cannot have an absolute assurance on anything, but preparedness is something which always help. Anticipation and preparedness. So that's one of a key element when we talk about strategy, we talk about innovation. So practically strategy is not about what you're gonna do, it's all about making the choices and where you have to say no and where you have to say yes. So those choices are a part of your strategy. Harun, you might have to share the screen and the question tab. People can't see that. Now let's come to Alina. Alina, you can unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. For me, if I think about the goal 5 years down the lane, I would definitely want to start a consultancy for sustainability reporting. Right now, it is in a very early idea stage, but if I talk about the last 2 weeks progress that I have done, so I have identified a course. Sajid, I'm slightly unlike you. I think I do the courses first. I make the plane first and then jump off. So in that case, I have been looking around for feasible options. So I have found the relevant course and I have connected with a person who shares the same interest in Pakistan and who's willing to collaborate on the project. Then thirdly, I have worked on building the profile that is required in this regard. So for this purpose, I think my biggest achievement in the last 2 weeks was getting featured in World Bank's post-COVID resilient recovery summer webinar. I was the only person from Pakistan, so that I think is something that is needed in this area. Then there's ACCA members are conducting the international SMP practice rooms. In that also, I connected with the 2 relevant individuals who are working on the same area in UK. And lastly, I think coming into the 7 Digits program and the learning I have had so far in these 2 weeks. So just simply the business model canvas, I've never used it before, and just using it, that's something which is putting me, I think, in the right direction. So thank you.
Great, Elena. So if I summarize it, so you started with the capacity building, you started with the networking, and you also started with the building the reputation and brand. So I think these are the 3 areas where you have made progress. And congratulations for being a Pakistan representation on the World Bank for that. It's a great achievement, I must say.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
on top of that, sharing always brings opportunity. I have got a friend who's looking for somebody who can help him to do a project on sustainability. So he's looking to partner with somebody and looking for resources. So I can refer you there.
Please do. Thank you so much.
So that's always work out when you share your goals, your aspiration. You become a part of a network, you become a part of community. So there's always an opportunity where somebody can connect you with someone else which have got a common goal. So I think definitely I'll refer him to you for sustainability reporting project.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Elena. And we have Ehsan Khan.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. This is Ehsan Khan, Regional CFO of NLC from Balochistan. I would like to share my goal and success story. I just joined it back. I was busy in some work, so I hope I have not gotten the point wrong.
Yeah,
Can
no,
you hear?
Gigi, please.
Okay. Just a year before, the national logistics cell in construction sector had over 2 billion bad debts. So when I met my CEO, so I show him that I can recover all those amounts, but I need some time. So I was promised that you will be promoted to regional CFO if you can recover. Even though it was the provision for bad debt was passed back in 2016. So with the effort of my team and my very nice, I would say that a very good and motivational boss. So I finally recovered over 2 billion rupees from government of Balochistan. So recently I was promoted to the position of regional CFO. I would like to say that what was behind these all things that which keep motivated me. The first thing was that I had an opportunity to avail it. The second thing was self-commitment. And the third thing is that you have to motivate yourself, even though if the target is becoming a regional CFO or whatsoever. So at the end, at 30th of June, I finally recovered all those amount with the with full recovery. So I was promoted. So this was the story I wanted to share it.
Now, thank you, Ehsan. Thank you very much. I think if I pick up something, you picked up something which people have already, or as an organization, you have already lost, and you have already provided for that as a bad debt. It seems difficult at the face of it, apparently, but I think it's a conviction and dedication and committing to something which is bold enough and which is rewarding enough at the same time, and then pursuing it. So I think it's a great achievement.
Thank you.
Praising, I would say, as a great work. Thank you very much for sharing. Hamid, we might overrun a little bit. Normally, we used to run this session for 3 hours. It's very difficult to conclude the conversation while people are just waking up, or they are getting more energized and they are starting sharing. So I think we might overrun a little bit. So people who have got their commitment, it's totally okay if you have to leave, but it's going to take another 10 minutes before we conclude. Anybody else who would like to share progress?
In the meantime, before people start leaving, if you can remind them about the work for unmodered session on Saturday, I guess it's going to be the business model canvas, right?
Yep. And in a group, can
Yes,
have 1 or 2 max ideas, and they have to work it
yeah.
out. And we will have a separate session later to have a proper presentation from them, 7 minutes.
Exactly, and they're going to be in same groups and same video. I mean, same links to join.
Yep.
So using Microsoft Teams for that.
Sure. Thanks. Anybody else who want to share? I'm going to give you 2 areas as a homework, and I'm not going to be a judge whether you are doing it or not. I would like people to share it back. Number 1, I would like you to develop a habit. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you have to hug yourself and say, I love me, the one which we did, right? Try to use it as a habit on an everyday basis. Might be if you are married, your wife or your spouse might start saying that, are you crazy? But keep doing that for some time, and request your spouse to join you in saying that. So let's see how it make a change if you continuously do it for maybe 2 weeks time, consistently every day. Number 2, before going to sleep, spend at least 2 to 3 minutes in self-reflection, that what you want to become in your life. I'm not saying how you're going to earn money. What you want to become as a person, as a human being in your life, and have you made any progress towards that? Whether as an answer you get a list of excuses, or whether you get a list that, yes, I have made a 1% change or fraction of a percent change today, or I made a small progress. 2 things, but do it consistently as a habit. Self-love to start the day, and self-reflection to close the day. Just 2 things. Don't share it with somebody. We will share it here, and all the conversation we are having here is very privileged. We will not share it except with a couple of news channel, social media, digital media, some of the pictures, and maybe a couple of newspaper as well. So it's all privileged and confidential, except these are the exceptions. So we have what we have achieved so far. I think if we go back and we review our 4 sessions or 6 sessions, Harun, how many sessions we have now? 4, right?
4, yes.
4 sessions. If you look at the 4th session, the significant theme which is coming out is not what we have to change around us. It's coming out how we have to change our mindset. ख्यालात बदलने से हालात बदलते हैं, हालात बदलने से ख्यालात नहीं बदलते. आपके ख्यालात, आपका थॉट प्रोसेस जो है वो चेंज करता है आपके हालात को. It doesn't work otherwise. We will always have excuses के external factors होंगे, limitation होंगी, constraints होंगे. At the same time, you will figure out there is a one person with the exact similar situation is making a progress. अगर एक बंदा K2 सर कर सकता है तो सब कर सकते हैं. अगर एक बंदा माउंट एवरेस्ट पे चढ़ सकता है तो सब चढ़ सकते हैं. Right? So, और ये proven है history में कि जब तक पहले बंदे ने नहीं किया था तो it was considered as an unconquered area. लेकिन जब एक बंदे ने कर लिया तो that created a confidence for everybody कि नहीं ये तो हो सकता है. So it's not that कि वहां पे कुछ चीज change हो गई थी. It's just the people have got a change in their thought process. It can be done. So can do attitude जो है, self reflection or self accountability and making a progress towards your goals, वो एक important element है. आज की दोनों वीडियोस को दिखाने का, and these are my favorite videos by the way. So मेरे साथ कोई भी आप सेशन करेंगे तो I'll find, at least you will find 3 videos one way or other. I'm trying to find alternates to that. एक आपको अमीन तूफानी की वीडियो जरूर मिलेगी because that's all about how he creates experience for the audience, emotional intelligence, engagement with the audience, creating a reputation, right? then you will always find that why you will not have a great career, because it's practically talk about all the excuses which we use in our everyday life. And then either you will be looking at OPA. OPA is another model where objective, purpose, and action, or you will be looking at objective and the key results and the why part of it. So all these things are very common and you will hear again and again. And believe me, उसमें से कोई चीज नई नहीं होती. Jis age group mein aap hai, anybody who's over 20, they must have heard about this thing in a one context or other in their life. It's just that, are we going to absorb that? Are we going to adopt that? Are we going to use that in our life? That make a change. एक ही क्लास में बैठे हुए एक ही लेक्चर को अटेंड करने के बाद मुख्तलिफ बच्चे मुख्तलिफ रिजल्ट देते हैं पेपर में. इट्स नॉट दैट कि उन्होंने किसी और तरीके से पढ़ा होता है, वही रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल होते हैं, उन्होंने डिप्लॉय करना. So very simple. Life is very very simple. हम बड़ी बड़ी मेहनत करके उसको मुश्किल बनाते हैं, और अब हमने जितनी मेहनत करके उसको मुश्किल बना लिया हुआ ना, हमें उसको उतनी ही मेहनत करके आसान बनाना है. It's very simple. It's about how you are contributing to society. आप जो पैसा कमा रहे हैं वो हलाल तरीके से कमा रहे हैं, जायज तरीके से कमा रहे हैं, किसी के साथ ज्यादती तो नहीं हो रही. जो पैसा है वो आप प्रॉपर्ली यूटिलाइज कर रहे हैं जहाँ पे उसको यूज करना चाहिए. जो आप लाइफ में आपने अपने लिए कुछ गोल सेट किए हुए हैं, यू आर हेल्पिंग अदर टू अचीव देयर गोल, पीपल आर हेल्पिंग यू टू अचीव योर गोल्स. सो क्लैरिटी है, आपकी जो वर्बल प्रेजेंटेशन है उसमें आपकी क्लैरिटी ऑफ थॉट प्रोसेस है, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, आपके लोगों को एंगेज करने का पैटर्न, नेटवर्किंग डेवलप करना, अपनी रेपुटेशन डेवलप करना. इस्लाम में फसाद और बलागत का बहुत जिक्र होया हुआ, उसका रीजन है because that's an engagement tool. That's how you convey your thought process to others. That's how you influence and inspire others. And it's important. Communication is not because you communication skills are not because you really have to excel professionally. It's required because you are supposed to engage human beings. और उनको engage करने का सबसे अच्छा तरीका वो ये होता है कि आपकी जो गुफ्तगू है उसका तरीकाकार अच्छा हो, आपकी बात में सब्सटेंस हो, आपकी बात में नॉइज नहीं हो, पेप्सी हो उसमें पानी ना हो. सो सब्सटेंस होना जरूरी है, जो हमने गूगल की एक्सरसाइज से बात की. सो और देन यू शुड हैव अ कॉन्फिडेंस. अल्लाह ताला ने आपको पैदा किया तो कोई तो पर्पस होगा ना, आपको अभी नहीं पता चला, यू विल फिगर इट आउट. बट डोंट थिंक दैट यू डोंट हैव अ पर्पस. ये बिल्कुल ऐसे कुरान को हम बचपन में हिफ्ज भी कर ले, लेकिन जैसे जैसे हमारे एक्सपीरियंसेस बढ़ते हैं हमें उसकी ज्यादा समझ आना शुरू हो जाती है. नॉट बिकॉज कि वो कोई और बात कह रहा होता है, बिकॉज हमारा जहन खुल रहा होता है. सो ट्राई टू गेट दोज एक्सपीरियंसेस एंड मेक श्योर यू डिप्लॉय इट, और उसको अपनी आप बिहेवियर, हैबिट्स और रूटीन्स में लेके आए. दैट्स द ओनली वे टू रियली लिव अ लाइफ. एक डिसिप्लिन होता है, एक रूटीन होती है, एक हैबिट होती है. दैट्स व्हाट यू हैव टू लुक एट. और बिहेवियर्स आपको खुद पता होते हैं, आपके बिहेवियर्स कहाँ पे सही हैं और कहाँ पे गलत है. सो ट्राई टू रियली इवैल्यूएट योरसेल्फ. सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन एक अच्छा टूल होता है. कुछ इनिशियल स्टेज पे ना बहुत ज्यादा मसला होता है. जब आप सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन में जाते हैं ना तो आपको अपना आप बहुत बुरा लगना शुरू हो जाता है. व्हेन यू गो इन अ रियल अकाउंटेबिलिटी, बिलीव मी, यू डोंट लाइक योरसेल्फ. एटलीस्ट यू डोंट लाइक दैट पार्ट ऑफ योरसेल्फ जिसको आप सेल्फ अकाउंटेबिलिटी में डालते हैं, और वहां पता चलता है एक्सक्यूज देने की ऑप्शन नहीं है. आपको ये एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा कि दीज आर द लिमिटेशंस और दीज आर द बैड बिहेवियर्स और बैड हैबिट्स और बैड रूटीन्स. And then the second level is that, are you going to change it? Or are you willing to change it? Or is it worth to change it? So, उसमें आपने ये नहीं करना कि आपने उस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट से आप नफरत करना शुरू कर दें. डोंट गेट देयर अगेन, बिकॉज सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन में जब भी जाते हैं तो बड़ा बदसूरत सा एक शख्स नजर आता है जो आपको नहीं अच्छा लग रहा है, और नेक्स्ट टाइम आपने सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन में जाना शुरू कर दिया. उसका पर्पस ये है, व्हेन यू विल रियली मीट योरसेल्फ, योर ट्रू सेल्फ, you have to see whether you like that person or not. If you don't, you have a power to change it. But उसके लिए आपको behavior, actions और habits पे दोबारा बात करनी पड़ेगी कि execution कैसे होगी. So guys, thank you very much for today. My sincere apologies, हम लोग overrun होते रहेंगे 10-15 मिनट के लिए, और ये मेरी बहुत बड़ी लिमिटेशन है कि मेरा अभी भी ख्याल ये है कि ये सेशन 3 आवर्स का होना चाहिए. ये सेशन 2 आवर्स में हमारी गुफ्तगू कंक्लूड नहीं होती या कुछ एक्सरसाइजेस रह जाती हैं. बट do those two things, self love, self reflection, and try to love the person you will see after self reflection, And if you don't like that person after self-reflection, you have a power to change it. So try to do that. Guys, thank you very much for today's session. I hope you picked up something around it. And सैटरडे को बिजनेस मॉडल कैनवस पे कोशिश करें, मिलके काम करें और उस पर थोड़ा सा टाइम स्पेंड करें. Believe me that one single page, it's a very old document, but that's always helped to put together your thought process and bring clarity whatever you are trying to achieve. Guys, thank you very much. Stay safe. Allah Hafiz. Good night.